Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back today. Well, we're going to go for a bit of a wiggle and a waggle, and there's a Mr. Brian. He's asked us if we would do a little detour and go through Yereskippu and then wiggle and waggle down the new purpose-built dual carriageway road that takes you down to the Paphos Avenue, which of course is the hotel's road, which means it's on the way to paradise, which is to get to Paphos Harbour. So stick with us. We're going to head down through the village of Konya, and then we're going to hit the Limassol roundabout, and then we're going to continue down and take a diversion through Universal and then into the Yereskippu area, and then we're going to go there, Mr. Brian. So stick with us. Oh, and by the way, I'd like to wish everyone who's watching a very, very, very happy new year indeed. Here we go. Let's enjoy the drive. So this is Konya village, just coming up into the viewfinder as we speak, and out over yonder is uptown, midtown and downtown Paphos, and of course that's the blue Mediterranean Sea in the very, very distance. Now, Mr. Sean, if you're sitting there eating your breakfast and you're curious to understand what time of day it is and what the temperature is, well, if you're watching us pretty live, it's around about 12 o'clock and it is around about 21 degrees. Yep, you heard me correctly, 21 degrees, and it is the 1st of January. The videos are pretty much, as we would say, live at the moment, because if you are following the channel, you understand we had a bit of bad news yesterday, and unfortunately Miss Oching received the other booth. That's Marika's father, Edward, passed away. So our thoughts are with Marika and her family, and I'm sure you are sticking with us and wishing all the kindness in your hearts, that's for sure. Anyway, life has to go on, so for the next couple of weeks you're going to have to put up with me. Yep, me driving you around, wiggling and waggling. You never know, we might even go for a dismount now and again and storm a rather nice beach, which I think we're going to do today. So stick with us as we descend now through Konya village, and we're going to come out and join the Limassol roundabout. At that roundabout, we're not going to take a left for Limassol, we're not going to take a right into uptown Paphos. No, we're going to go straight over it, and we're going to continue on our descent to the former Debenhams roundabout. The Debenhams Superstore is now known as the ERA Superstore, but soon that's going to get knocked down, by the way, and they're going to build a tower block around about 27 stories, or that's the rumour anyway. So if you're looking for the perfect apartment with the perfect view, that could be it. But obviously you're going to need, well, based on the prices in Limassol, I think you're going to need 2 to 3 to 5, maybe even more millions of euros to get that view. So back to reality, here we go. We're starting the descent straight over the Limassol roundabout. That's the Alpha Mega Supermarket over there on the right hand side, which means, Andrea, Mart, guess what's coming up on the left very, very soon? The Golden Arches of McDonald's. There we are. When you come over in February, I'll wear my new feelers and we'll pop in there. I'll have a Big Mac and a large Coke, and you can have wherever you want to celebrate your birthday, Andrea. But don't forget, Martin's walking, because of course he's destroyed my Tommies and now they're second hand. That's an inside joke. If you follow the channel, go under the comments, you'll start to get a bearing and understand what it's all about. Anyway, there we go. McDonald's coming up on the left hand side. That's the new Neon Mall, which was the former Paphos Mall. It was derelict from around about 2012. Now it's been refurbed, as you can see, and it's going to open up as the Neon Mall. Don't know what's going to be in there. Probably a supermarket and 4 or 5 shops like it was before. If you want to buy an MG or a Ford, well, over there on the right hand side there is the MG dealer and the Ford dealer. Now MG, I'm going to bore the life out of you now, is an electric only car manufacturer, and they have no cars in stock yet again, because they sell every one that they can make at the moment, so I'm told. And I was speaking to the sales manager in there, Stavros, the other day, and they've sold 6 in the last month. So there you go, 36,000 euros. So I suppose that's quite cheap for an electric car. And the feedback so far, so he tells me, is very, very good news indeed. Anyway, if you want to buy a more conventional car like a Volvo or a Hyundai, we just passed them on the left hand side. And then the next main bearing coming up over here is the DIY Home Centre Superstore and the ERA, which is the former Debenhams Superstore, which means we're going to come to a little roundabout, and that roundabout we are going to go left into Yeraskipu. We could go straight down to Paphos, or we could go right into Midtown Paphos, past all the former colonial buildings, past the former governor's office, and past the Marika, I can't even say his name, statue. Don't mean to insult him, but I just can't say it. There's a nice statue of the Archbishop Macarius, I think that's how you say it, the third. And he was the president of Cyprus, I think it was in, I don't know, 1968 or whatever it was. Anyway, we're going to take a left just by the Next at Kids, or Kids at Next. That's the store to the rear of the former Debenhams, which is now the ERA supermarket. As you can see, it's quite busy. We are almost live, like I'm saying. We are on New Year's Eve, and there's a lot of cars racing around, trying to get those last bits and bobs for the new year, that last bottle of champagne, or those party poppers, that special dress, whatever it might be, or that gift, because again, in Cyprus, and of course in many countries, they do give gifts on the new year, mainly alcoholic, that's for sure. Especially if you're up in Scotland, when you can have a very nice Hogmanay, cuz James. Karina, and a big shout out to Miss Deli, because I understand that she does like it. We wish you a wonderful, wonderful Hogmanay and a very, very happy new year. And you never know, the rumour is out that we might be going to see you next year, so we'll look forward to that. Bit of a traffic jam going on, very strange in Cyprus these days. See, there's a lot of people off on their holidays because it is New Year's Eve, and there's a lot of people racing around. And Mr. Brian, you've got us in a traffic jam. So I could have just gone straight over the roundabout, and I could have been in Cato Paradise by now. But anyway, we'll keep going. If you want to go to a hair salon, upmarket one there on the right hand side, that's the Revolution. Mainly a ladies salon, but I have seen the odd man popping in there. You want a new kitchen? There's a kitchen place there. Little supermarket in front of us. And this is downtown Yeraskipu, if you're wondering where we actually are in Paphos. This is the largest congregation of people in the Paphos district. In and around 20,000 people live in and around Yeraskipu, so they say. You got Euromania, which was, well, it was a Euro shop, but of course cost of living has been involved, and I think it's now €1.50 and €2.50. You've got Coffee Island over there to the right hand side. There's all sorts of shops and businesses along here, from bakeries coming up now. That's the Zorpas Bakery, that's my favourite bakery. And then further down, you've got Always on the Grill, that's this little cafe on the side there. I think Brian's mentioned he goes in there as well. You've got a couple of petrol stations coming up. Be curious to know what the price of unleaded is, 147.9 today. So that's around about 135 in English money, and probably around about 135 in the dollar, because we do have a few people watching us from the States. Dollar's very, very strong at the moment. As you see, some of the shops are open and some of the shops are closed. So you've got the Papa Antonio bakery on the right hand side. You've got a tyre shop just across to that. You've got a knicky-knack shop here, you've got another petrol station coming up. I think you get the idea. If you want something and you're in this area, you're pretty much going to be able to find it. There's an electrical store there selling electric fires. Now, maybe if you live in uptown Sunderland like Mr. Jeff, maybe you need one of them. Not making fun of Mr. Jeff, but of course if you live in Paphos and the temperature is 21 degrees, you don't really need one. Hellenic Bank, that's on the left hand side, so if you want some money, pop your little card in there and you'll get some for a minor charge. You've got the Elistical Museum, that's the religious museum, that's over on the right hand side. And now we are about to approach the Yeraskipu Square, and that's what's coming up. Up we go. So this now is Yeraskipu Square. This is where they have functions and that kind of thing, and they're probably getting ready to have something going on tonight There's a bunch of chairs stacked over there, so someone's going to be chatting or singing. And as you can see, it's quite busy. There's cars coming at us from absolutely everywhere. And we'll stop at this zebra crossing to let this chappie cross, sorry. Confusing my English, Graciela LaBouffe is stealing it all the time, even when she's not with me. Now, if you're curious to know about watching Graciela LaBouffe, the most beautiful woman in the world, that's Miss Marika. She's coping well with the loss of her father, slowly coming to terms with it. It was a bit of a shock first thing this morning, but like I say, it has to go on, life has to go on, and that is what Edward would want. He wouldn't want his daughter to dwell too much. He's had a decent life, got to a decent age, and unfortunately, as I say, it's coming to us all. Let's hope we get to a good ripe old age, and let's hope we don't suffer too much along the way. So we're now coming towards the extremities of Yereskipu. You've still got a few shops coming up, by the way. Another petrol station is going to come up in a bit. A few potholes from hell. There we are. There's the Gumbarrows in blue racing along. Hopefully they don't notice this furry thing sticking on the front of my phone on the end of a stick. But as I've said before in a previous video, technically I am not holding a mobile phone. I'm holding a silly stick, and that's actually resting on my knee. And luckily, I'm not a stupid man. Well, I am actually, but I've got an automatic car. Dame Ann Bell, she's got an automatic car. She treated herself when she went back from Cyprus at the end of the summer, and she bought herself a brand new Volkswagen Polo in a beautiful shade of blue, by the way. Really, really nice blue. And for the first time she chose an automatic transmission. She was a little bit worried, and well, she's not anymore. She understood within 4 seconds of starting that engine and driving around that she'd made the greatest choice in the world. Automatic cars are absolutely wonderful, especially in this day and age when you've got traffic jams even in downtown Paphos. You haven't got to change gear, and you can have a selfie stick with a camera on the end of it driving around as you film, and all you got to do is just wobble and wibble and waggle, and there you go. So stick with us, Brian, if you're watching. I know you're over in the UK at the moment. We wish you a very, very happy New Year. But this is the route that you requested, to come through from Yereskipu Square to go out to this little roundabout over here, and then we're going to take a right and we're going to head along the purpose-built single track to start with, and then dual carriageway road that connects the Paphos Airport Road, as it is known to us locals, to the downtown Kato Paphos hotels area, Passidonis Avenue, to give it its correct name. But we call it Hotels Road. So here we go. If we'd have gone straight, we'd keep going to Alechia and then eventually to Paphos Airport, but of course we've taken a right. Now we're joining this purpose-built highway that takes us all the way to Passidonis Avenue, Hotels Road, and eventually to the promenade, and then eventually on to the Kato Paphos Harbour. The view, well, it's to die for. Absolutely spectacular. And if you're wondering what is in the very, very distance, that glistening, that's the sun glistening on the blue Mediterranean Sea. Absolutely spectacular on a wonderful, wonderful New Year. By God, that sea's blue, that's for sure. That sea is blue, that sky is blue. All that's actually missing is you. So get yourself on a big bird or on a canoe and start paddling like crazy, because Cyprus is quite simply missing you. Now, word of warning, if you are in a car, hire car, perhaps you've borrowed a car, stolen a car, who knows? But if you are in a car and you're on this part of the road, as you can see, the sign says 65, so I'm doing 70 kilometers an hour. In Cyprus, the tradition is that you can go 20 kilometers above the designated speed limit. So I say to most people, if you've got a car and you're driving around in the Paphos area, just stick to 60. Do 60 kilometers pretty much everywhere. And right, you might get the odd idiot behind you honking his horn, but of course you're not going to get nabbed by the boys in blue. And believe it or not, they are here, there and everywhere at the moment. Any time that you think you might want to put your foot down, think about it, because just round that corner, I can promise you, is one of the gumbaroos in blue. They always look a little bit grumpy, but when they pull you over, ooh, do they smile when they zap you for around about 75 euros. They have a little giggle to themselves, especially when you're a foreigner. So, if I was you, stick to around about 60 to 70 kilometres, pretty much wherever you are, except on the main highway. So if, for example, you were going to Limassol, that's fine. Go to about 110 and you'll be laughing all the way. And the gumbaroos in blue will not be laughing all the way to the bank. Now there's a gumbaro in a pickup. I'm doing 65 and he's probably doing about 75, so he's just about all right. But you do see him coming up down here at 100 because they think that there's no gumbaros about. And I promise you, they're everywhere. Now at this roundabout here, we're going to make a decision. What shall we do? Shall we turn here? Because this is where you go down to the Yereskipu coastal area, which is actually the beach. So I tell you what, we will, because you're going to get a great view, and then we'll continue on the older section of the road and take you to the Paphos Avenue, because I think that that view in front of us right now is a view to die for, a view that quite simply takes your breath away. Sit back, kick off the shoes, get the frappe out, lap it up. That's a spectacular view, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere where it's that little bit more chilly, shall we say. Please forgive the road surface. This road, well, it's a little bit Sherlock Holmes, that's for sure. But look at that. Wow. It doesn't get much better than that. So where are we? We're on Rikos Beach. That's where we are. Absolutely spectacular. That blue is blue, that's for sure. To give it its proper title, it's called the Yereskipu Municipality Beach, but that's a bit of a mouthful. So many years ago, there's a man at the end here opened a bar, and his name was Rikos, and from that day on it became known as Rikos Beach. And that was way before tourism even started, so I was told. It started around about the mid-70s he opened up, and apparently he did very well indeed, and so I'm told it's his son that's running it now. And that's it here on the left hand side. That is the Rikos Beach Bar. That's the original and the first bar to open on this beach, hence why the locals know it as Rikos Beach. Now technically I think that we are now on Paphos Avenue, which, as we call it, the Hotels Road. So as soon as we take a little bit of a left here, we're going to join back up to the purpose-built dual carriageway bit. There it is, right in front of us. Look at that sky. Wow. Look at the greenness of those trees. Wow. We're living in paradise, that's for sure. So here we go. Mr. Bryant, we have got back onto the route you wanted after a little detour. Again, you can see it's absolutely spectacular out here today. It really doesn't get much better. Now often in the January it can be a bit wet and it can be a bit windy, but this year, well, it's been very kind to us indeed. The only place I don't want to live is North America, to be honest. I'm not making fun of them, but they seem to be having a bit of a bad time at the moment, but luckily we're not there. Here we go, Paphos Avenue. That's the Louis Vuitton Beach Hotel on the left-hand side there. All of these hotels, by the way, are beachfront hotels. So you go through the front door, but when you go out the back door, you're straight onto the blue Mediterranean Sea. That's the Pioneer Beach. That's the Asamina Adults Only 5-star on the left here. And then here's a hotel that's one of our favourites, by the way, the Aquamari. There's something about this hotel that we really like. It's a really nice vibe. And again, Miss Andrea and Mr. Mark, they stayed there. Quite a few other people that we know as well. And they've all had a good holiday there. And they all say they're going to come back for sure. Ivamari, that's where Mr. Ian and his wonderful wife, Miss Janet, had a great holiday. They had 1 or 2 days of bad weather, but luckily they were windswept and dried out on the way back because it was quite windy as well. Leonardo Cypria Bay, Cypria Maris. So don't forget, Mr. Justin, if you're a naughty boy, that's where we're going to send you. Ledra Beach, Athena Beach Hotel, very, very popular hotel coming up now. Very popular with Double Trouble, this one. You never know, next November, boys, you might just book into this one for a month and stop all the monkeying around of travelling here and travelling there. And you're that little bit closer to that lovely little white church with the blue roof that you like to walk up to every single day. The next one coming up is the Athena Royal Beach. That's next door to the Athena Beach. And over there you've got the Avanti Village on our right hand side. Parade of shops, and of course to the rear of that there is a resort as well. Again, other shops coming up. Rental shops, gift shops, mini markets. And then you've got a bunch of restaurants coming up now, starting off with tea for two. If you want a great breakfast, that's the place to go. Bit of road improvements going on, resetting the manholes, as you can see. So there's a bunch of restaurants coming up here. You've got the tea for two downstairs, you've got the Boer French restaurant upstairs, you've got a Chinese restaurant in there, you've got an Italian restaurant, Pizza House, you've got the Rib Shack. There's a lot of restaurants in there, that's for sure. And then we're going to pop down here now, because again you've got the Municipality Beach, and this beach is to the rear of the Olympic Lagoon Resort. Again, a luxury 5-star resort that's on our right hand side. And this is the public parking area. And guess what? We're going to go for a dismount, and I'm going to go and show you a truly, truly spectacular view. And it's a view that is quite simply going to take your breath away. Have a look at that. So stick with us, we're going to go for a quick dismount, and we're going to show you a truly, truly spectacular view on this spectacular day. Here we go. The only thing that's actually missing, and it is a bit of a shame, is watching Receivable Booth, because I do understand this is a very, very important part of the channel. The channel is called Marika and Me. Fortunately, she's not with us for the next, well, hopefully it's only going to be a week, but probably going to be a couple of weeks, if you understand, because as we are talking now, she is planning to fly out probably on the 3rd. So in a couple of days she's going to fly out and whiz off to Tbilisi and do what needs to be done. Unfortunately, her father passed away, as you already understand if you follow the channel, and she has to go do her duty. But I'm going to hopefully keep you entertained that little bit and show you this spectacular view that's coming up right now. Have a look at that. I don't think it gets much better than that. It's time to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like, click subscribe. Please come back for a little bit more of our madness. And if you want to chat, she's still in my English even though she's not here. If you want to watch the channel grow to new heights, please consider going through to our About page, where you can consider buying myself, watching Receivable Booth for coffee, yourself for coffee, and we can take you to even greater heights. Thanks for watching.